Hello, John. Delighted to be having a third chat with you. I'm with Mark for the first time. Myself and Steve Evans here.
Yeah.
All right, good to see you guys. John, nice to see you again. My second time. And Mark, good to meet you. A UK citizen, but you're over in LA now. So I was LA today, by the way. Anyway.
I've been here 20 years now. I wouldn't live anywhere else.
Excellent, excellent. Where did you come from originally in the UK? Was it? I've got Milton Keynes in my head for some reason.
I would severely go and see a therapist to get Milton Keynes out of your head. I'm an Essex boy. I come from Chelmsford in Essex.
Right, okay. Miles away, obviously. Yeah, miles away. I don't know where I've got that from, but anyway.
Well, let me say, I thought your mom was living in Nottingham.
No, my cousin lives in Nottingham.
Cousin living there, okay.
That's not a million miles away from Milton Keynes, I suppose, but, you know, yeah. I mean, John told us a fair bit about you last time, but not everything. So tell us a bit about your journey from the UK to LA then, how it all started.
My journey is actually thanks to former President George W. Bush. Back in 2000, I was working for the BBC, and they said, go over to the Washington Bureau and cover the 2000 election. You'll be there for like a week. So I came over, I was all happy. And then the whole debacle of the hanging chads happened. And I ended up staying for much longer, and I met my wife there. So we had a long distance relationship, and then the two of us moved to LA in the summer of 2003. And we got married, and I became a citizen, and I've loved living here ever since.
Superb. Yeah. That was easy then.
Yeah. Now, also interesting enough that his wife Julie took a class at the New York Film Academy when Mark first went there as well. You tell about that.
Yes, my wife is a screenwriter, so she came over. She took a screenwriting class at NYFA while I was there, and now she works for Disney. Wow. So she's working her way through the process. Yeah. And she still writes, and she still does other things. But yeah, she's writing the biography of her uncle, who was a hero of the French resistance in World War II. Yeah. So that's a current project, amongst other things.
Yeah. So in our last chat, we talked about the multi-award-winning DocuMystery, Where Is She Now? Yeah, it's very, as we did. And that film's a new genre, DocuMystery, isn't it? Now, tell us a bit, or refresh us about the style of this new genre, if you like, and how popular it's becoming.
Well, if you watch a documentary, okay, it's a documentary, don't you?
Yeah. Yep.
Why? Why do you know it's a documentary?
It's about something usually, isn't it? And they give you lots of information and what ifs and maybes, don't they? And
right.
But factual based.
And it's also not shot like a film, is it?
Oh no, it's not. It's completely different to a film. It's not like these close-up shots in confined spaces. I'd guess it's not. Anyway, I'm not an expert, but
well, speaking for the editor here, they really can't shoot a document. If you're coming into our living room to interview us right now, for instance, we're answering you in real time, so there is only one take. In documentary, everything's one take, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay.
And so you can't have a two-shot of Mark and me and then go to a close-up of Mark and a close-up of me to cover all that stuff, because that means we're going to have to do the same thing 3, 4, 5, 10 times.
Makes total sense now. Yeah.
And so how can you make a film but capture the immediacy of a documentary? Okay. Let the camera be the guide. Let the camera be the audience's point of view at all times. So by not having as many cutaways to other shots, there's immediacy, almost as if they're in that room watching it happen.
Yeah. Got it.
So in a way, we kind of mess with their heads. Yeah. So when they're watching it, they think, well, here's the first question people would ask after watching the movie: was that scripted?
Oh yeah.
They couldn't tell if it was scripted. And even the most diehard, filmmaker will watch it and not get the fact that, okay, well, here's where we're actually doing the documentary, and here we're doing conventional cutting. Because sometimes you have to. Sometimes you can't just sit in a shot, and you get tired of watching the camera moving all the time. So all those years that we were doing, all these backlot shoots at New York Film Academy, we got a chance to really get used to balancing this camera in such a way that we could do the cuts within the camera. They're called cutting in the camera.
Okay.
And that really helped us so much in being able to move forward, to tell stories and feel confident enough with the camera. You know, a confident camera, an audience can feel it if it's a confident camera. You know what I mean?
Very much so.
Yeah.
You know, confidence is when it moves naturally and coolly and not sneaking carefully to get changes, but just, you know, like a clean musical ballet moving into it. And that's what it becomes. So it doesn't become jarring.
Yeah.
You know, there's continuity to it. You know, if I have a camera, if you're on us now and I want to show you the rest of my room as I'm talking, well, if I'm going to cut and show you the rest of my room, you're going to look at the rest of my room. You're not going to cut to anything else because we're talking about the rest of the room. So everything's done in real time. And so most of what you see in that film is one take.
Okay.
Wow, that's so interesting.
It is.
That's
It is.
really interesting.
I've
I never
learned
knew
from
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. People can look at it and wonder. Like I was talking to Mark this morning. Kiran is in Mumbai right now, and she had her aunt or someone saw the film, and she says, "It looks like a home movie." Well, she was kind of
Yeah.
she thought it was going to be something more than that, you know. And the thing we say is exactly, but it isn't.
Yeah.
You know, imagine if Warner Brothers, the A Studios, started making movies like this, and you're seeing, you know, movie stars, A picture guys, you know, you're seeing Julia Roberts, George Clooney, you know, in these moments of absolute spontaneity. It really is a whole different impact, and it's safe to say it's something new. There isn't much new anymore that isn't technology.
Yeah, technology new.
Technology driven. There's not a lot of art driven new stuff.
One thing I would add is going back to the very genesis. John and I probably made 200 student films out on the backlot, working with. We had a lot of very talented students, but because they were students, a lot of times we'd only get one take of them delivering the line right. So that's how we developed them. Came into the idea of almost shooting student films like mini documentaries, because you have to, even if you shoot a lot of it, you're still trying to find that one time when the student actually delivers what they're capable of and you know what the film deserves.
Yeah, you want to make them feel good as well as look good, you know.
Yeah.
And back in those days, we had all these, you know, tapes. We used these funny little safes, right? And now it's all and now it's just little SD cards. Your whole movies SD cards, right? And we had Mark would be on the back lot. We'd be shooting on the back lot, and he'd have to go back to the studio or back to the post production and start, you know, digitizing, you know, downloading, uploading, digitizing, so the students could edit. And he was teaching them how to edit. He taught everything about Final Cut Pro, I think. And did occasionally Adobe Premiere? Did you also teach?
We were Final Cut only.
Okay.
At the time.
He taught all that, and it became a little bit. But I want to show you how smart Mark is. When we decided to start doing this DocuMystery thing, we realized that I would have to be with a camera, right? So I'm going everywhere and I'm talking to people, and they're looking at me. You know, sometimes you see me on camera with this, right? Yeah. But as I'm talking to them, this is a beautiful Sennheiser microphone, right? Broadcast quality microphone, omnidirectional. And so it's picking up them really nicely, right? But it's not picking up me because I'm behind asking the questions and during the interview, right? Yeah. So Mark, God bless him, came up with this. You see this?
Yeah. See,
that's my mic.
Oh, yeah.
That mounts there. So now we have both microphones working, right? So that's his mic and this is mine. So I can do the interview right now with him, and my voice will be just as clean as his. And now we don't have to mix our two voices together. There's a continuity of sound throughout it, which saves a fortune in post, doesn't it? You know, no ADR, no looping, no, we got to dub that line. Nah, that doesn't happen. No, never going to happen. So that's part of the brilliance once again. And I guess it's kind of an invisible brilliance because we know, but nobody else quite gets it, you know.
It makes life in post-production so much easier because now I've got two clean voice tracks to work with and adding all the music and effects and so on.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that was just genius idea.
Sounds like
that is genius. That is. That's great.
Can I ask how tight is the scripted dialogue? because it all looks natural, is there a lot of ad-libbing, or is there a script, a tight script?
There is a script for the scripted part of it. And that's the mystery part of it was scripted and fairly tightly scripted. So we had to get a certain amount of information and ideas across.
Yeah.
But the docu part of it was unscripted. And what I found hugely enjoyable.
Yeah, the interviews with the students.
Interviews with the students, because they were completely honest.
Yeah.
And these were people that I had taught when they'd first come to Hollywood with all their hopes and dreams and plans. And then we saw them back in their home country. And some of them were doing really great. Some of them were really struggling. But it's the docu part that, like I said, is unscripted. And that has the raw humanity of people who had this dream and went to Hollywood, then had to go back to like Finland or Sweden or Austria, where the film industry was much, much tinier. And so they weren't getting the success that maybe they dreamed about. And that comes across in the film. Some of the sheer heartbreak that they felt. Like one girl in England had to leave her child to go and pursue acting. People were on their way to auditions, and the nerves that you saw were real. These were the raw parts of these people, and that's what gives this film its power. And then we built in like the scripted parts, and because people were coming in that raw sense of the documentary into the scripted part, the scripted part maintains that raw feel to it, because they just come out of talking about whatever disasters were in their life. Suddenly they're in the scripted part, and that comes with it, and so the mystery part becomes just as real as the docu part.
Okay.
It's safe to say that 90% of the stuff we shot in London, which was really kicking it all off, London was our first stop, was improv.
Yeah.
Because it was interviews, and most of the nightjar stuff was scripted.
Yeah.
But some great stuff came out of it. And all the stuff on the street and interacting with Shui and Karan in the hotel, all that stuff was improv, because you needed it. It
looks authentic. Watching it.
Well, if you try to write a script and say, let's make it sound like it's not a script, that's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah.
Some words don't fit in the mouth the same way, So we found that was the way to do it. A lot of the students didn't have to do that much improv, fortunately.
Okay.
Yeah, if it sounds authentic, it's because it was authentic.
It was, yeah, that ring to it. Yeah. Just moving on a bit from Where Is She Now? You and Mark, you're developing a follow-on series, Where Are We Now? So tell us about this. Is he using the same group of talented actors?
Yes. We sort of have our ensemble base now, don't we? Which would be Kiran and Shui and Maxi, the British and the Chinese and Indian actors. And then we pick up people in each country, So no, we realize that Where Is She Now ends with a crime, right? We know it ends with a crime.
Yeah.
And it has to be answered. So where are we now takes place a year later. And everybody thinks that, okay, fine, we've moved on, but we haven't. The sins of the past are going to revisit us.
Okay.
And that's what happens. It's, you can't walk away from problems that you may have created, or certainly be a part of the creating of. And that's what it's about, really, the moral to it.
It maintains the docu part, because it follows us on the journey of getting all the awards that we won from the film festivals.
Yeah.
So as we see us going to film festivals, getting awards or not getting awards,
that's real.
The repercussions of the crime creep their way in. Yeah. They appear in the shadows on the cruise ship. In the characters we come across in Germany, and follow us from Germany down through to ending in Prague.
Yeah. If you look at the stuff that we did in the Bahamas, we caught a lot of lucky breaks, some not as lucky breaks, because we had to deal with a lot of people and a lot of, their particular schedule. But boy, we had some great moments. For instance, Hermione.
Yes.
Hurricane Hermione, right? We got a message from the captain saying, we're not going to get to Freeport. We decided we're going to go ahead and keep on heading north because Hermione's close and we want to outrun her. We also don't want you guys to have a rocky road, right? Well, and so we're thinking, great, we're free. But meanwhile, in the middle of the night, we can feel it. We can feel Hermione just nipping at our butts, They were definitely there. And it hit us. It really hit us full on. And so we had to go next door to where Grunt and Shui were staying. And all this is improv. You'll see all this, all improv. Are you guys okay? Yeah, it's okay. And glass had been broken all over the place, so they couldn't walk on the floor, right? And Shui was kind of hiding in the bathroom.
She was, yeah.
You know, and Karan was just she's always optimistic and hopeful, but she's kind of frozen. Hi, are you okay? Have you been praying? No. Well, you know, yeah. Because it was just a great moment. A great moment.
I am back in the day. I served in the Royal Navy, and I've been out at sea in much smaller ships in really bad weather conditions. So I'm a pretty good sailor. So when this hurricane hit, I think I was probably more excited.
Oh, that's on camera.
Really? Really?
He's there. We're both there in our underwear, and I
can just picture it now.
Right? So I'm out there, and I'm looking at the storms, and I'm hanging onto the railing, looking at the storm. And he says, "You remind me of the old man in the sea." I think
he went full heavyweight.
And so we're standing there in our underwear, you know, and Mark's he's got a delightful look in his place because he's got the remote, and he's watching his cup of coffee or something, watching the remote. He says, "Ooh, looks like it's got us," or something like that. He says, "I don't think we outran it," you know. And to him, that was a wonderful opportunity for adventure.
It was huge fun. I got my GPS speed calculator out, and we were on like 120,000 ton cruise ship, and the captain got it up to something like 22 knots to outrun this hurricane, which is quite an achievement for a ship that size. Not surprised.
Yeah.
And I was watching the monitor because they have cameras pointed. They have a camera pointed to the bow, and at one point, all you saw was this wall of water coming towards the ship. So you see it coming, and then you felt the ship bounce.
Oh, yeah.
And then the other camera was pointed to the onboard swimming pool in the middle of the ship, and you can see the water sloshing in the pool. 1 minute the pool was full, then this wave came, and then all the water was just out of the pool completely.
Almost in slow-mo. It was incredible. Incredible.
I think I enjoyed that far too much.
If you're standing in our balcony and you're looking out, it's very frightening to see the swell line go 50 feet above your head, and knowing the power of the sea, you know,
like a tsunami.
Yeah. But it was great stuff. We got great footage. Be our last word, probably.
Yes.
What was the last thing he said to you before he died? We got some great footage.
That's quite scary when you see the swell of the waves, isn't it? You know, and they go 50 feet in the air, and then you're 50 feet below it again, and the waves are up there, you know, and it's really, really quite scary that to see.
What did actually make me nervous was one time when we were actually in port, I had filmed the crew doing a lifeboat drill where they lower the lifeboats over the side and then drive them around the harbour. I'm going, if we get into huge problems in this hurricane, it's not gonna be like that for the crew manning the lifeboats. It's not going to be lower the lifeboat, paddle around the harbour and come back. It's going to be whatever it is. So, but I had faith in the crew and they were good.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, you just spoke about the Bahamas, John, and you know, going all around the world almost to do this filming. So tell us a bit about the market and the possible monetization. You know, did you have investors, sponsors? It must have cost a fortune to do it all, and you must have had a budget or sponsorship.
Well, it was private. For the most part, the movie was all privately funded. But this is the thing. If you look at the opening credits, you'll see it's a Blue Ridge Productions in association with Red Card Films.
Yeah.
Right? Red Card Films. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know, Mark and I, when we were teaching there, we were encouraged to have consultation times with the students. So in order for the students to give us consultation time, they would give us these red cards, right? And they'd get an hour with us, right? And we'd save these red cards up, and we got, I forgot how much we got per card per hour, but we got a bump in our pay to do these consultations, right? Which was great for the teachers that only worked a few hours, because that way they could fill up their income a little bit more. So we use these cards for that. And I had estimated that I'd made about $20,000 off of red cards by the time we made this film. So I decided, okay, since this film is for the students, we're going to just do a co-production where we split half and half with the students and with the production company. And so they're the red card films. And I matched that 20 and then had to continue adding from there. But we didn't start having backers until we did the Where Are We Now? And we didn't really have that much in the way of backers. We had 2 backers that gave us a partial funding and then couldn't come through with the rest of it. And that left Papa here to.
Yeah.
So that's why we're back at work now. We got to keep working.
Yeah.
So this whole thing has to stay on a shelf every now and then. We come back to it. But now we're excited to get back to it again, and go for distribution. And that kind of ties into what we talked about before about the problem with distribution is in getting upfront money. It's hard to get upfront money, but you need that. And the only way you're going to get that is if there's something so unique about the project, they feel they can pull in all those people. That's why they look for content creators more than filmmakers. Yes. And the trouble with what is an influencer but a salesperson? You're selling somebody's product. You're hawking somebody's product. You're not acting. You're not working in a film or playing a role. And so we don't want to do that. But you'll see now in the breakdown, the casting notices, the majority are UGC, right? User-generated content. And that's who they want to be in this show. Someone who already has, 50,000 followers or whatever else.
Yeah. You produced the full scripts for each episode of Where Are We Now? But did you encourage any ad-libbing to add authenticity to these episodes, or did you stick to it, or was the movement allowed to, within that script?
Well, we told them that they can reword it, however this fits in your mouth best.
Yeah, to make it project it in the right way, you mean? Yeah.
Because even Mark and I, me growing up here and Mark growing up in Great Britain, our writing style's a bit different, just in the way we would phrase things. And so you don't want to tell somebody from India or somebody from Germany or somebody from Sweden. So we gave them a lot of latitude for that. I think for the most part, they didn't do that much ad-libbing because I think they were hesitant to it, maybe a little hesitant, They
didn't want to upset you either, probably.
Yeah.
I think where it was improv, it worked because it came out again from the students' lived experience to get to that point.
Yeah.
And then some of the parts that were fully scripted, we have a wonderful villain played by Rito.
Yeah.
And his part was completely scripted because he's like a murderous drug lord. Unfortunately, none of the students have turned into murderous drug lords.
No.
But he dived into that with such enthusiasm,
relish,
that you can almost believe in another life he was a murderous drug lord. So for the fully scripted part, his was a fully scripted character. They brought all the authenticity of their own experiences to it, and it made it completely believable.
And they brought so much. They brought, he showed up with so many props and things he wanted to use. And God bless you for coming all with this stuff. You have to remember, most of these actors are not that experienced. They're trained, but they're not that experienced. So they don't necessarily have the confidence level. And you see that in the film. And what's nice about that is it makes them endearing.
Yeah.
We look at them as children to be protected. Once the mystery's on and a murder's after us, then that changes everything. And that's kind of a beautiful thing.
And I think what very much helps them is they were making a film with us, and we had taught them at film school. So they knew who we were.
They were used to it.
They know how we work, what we're looking for, how we build stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
So they had confidence in us to go out for them to have confidence in themselves.
Yeah, that makes sense. Can I ask, where can people see Where Are We Now? How can people see it? When will people see it?
They can only see it through invitation, like you, because we don't want to give it away.
Yeah, of course.
So we do invite people occasionally and say, here, I'm going to give you the link, and it becomes sort of a gift. Okay, you can watch it. we've actually burned DVDs and give them to all the cast members, Blu-rays as well, so they can use them for their own promotions. So they'll have their own private screenings and all that. The thing is, we just need to make sure that we don't allow it to go to any streaming company that charges, because then we wouldn't be able to offer exclusivity to whoever might distribute or stream for us.
Yeah, yeah.
The trailer is available online, so you can see the full, I think, the 3-minute trailer.
Yeah.
That, if you haven't seen that, that's well worth a watch.
Okay.
Mark, do you purely see yourself behind the camera post-production, or have you got ambitions of getting into acting, or are you just the techie and the that side of it?
I actually came to Hollywood to be an actor. I worked for the BBC as a news editor for like 15 years. And I came over here and I took a 1-month acting class at New York Film Academy while my wife took screenplay. And I went to the filmmaking course after that.
It was 1 year.
No, the first one was a 1 month.
Oh, okay.
I did a 1-month acting class, and I decided
I didn't think it went that fast.
Yeah, I enjoyed it so much that I'd come back to do the full 1 year program in acting. So yeah, I came here to be an actor, and I've done. I was thinking about this during the pandemic. Back, one of my first projects was for National Geographic. I played the doctor who discovered a new super flu, so it was very prescient. And I had this a patient in Hong Kong. I diagnosed this new variant of some horrific virus, but unfortunately, I didn't make it through. I was one of the first casualties.
Oh, did you?
I did have a death scene, yes.
Do you have a copy of that?
Yes, I do.
I've never seen anything that he's been in other than the stuff we've done together.
So I've done quite a few acting roles and enjoy those very much. I still maintain role as editor, so I enjoy editing.
Okay.
In fact, last night
writing
and filming. Last night, my son is in our local Taekwondo group's demonstration team, and they had done a show last week. So last night, I grabbed the camera and we went and rebuilt the show. So I filmed all of that. So I'm still on both sides of the camera. And I enjoyed acting in Where Is She Now? Where Are We Now?
The Bahamas. One of the problems we had with, remember when I told you that Mark sent me a message with the latest notes while we were, I forget which country we were in. We were something. I hate you all.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Because he wanted to be there, but he's a proud papa. He's got a full-time working wife. He's got 2 kids in school, so he really wasn't able to take off like we could, and as much as he wanted to, he wasn't able to. Fortunately, with Where Are We Now, we get a chance to see him in the first 3 episodes, and then the last 3 episodes. So he's in the PowerPoint, and you're going to love what he does particularly in the last. The whole Bahamas thing is where he holds my feet to the fire, where he says, "Okay, enough of this. You keep saying you're not going to tell us what happened over there because you want to protect us, okay? But we want to know what's going on." And so literally he comes up with the idea of doing a mock trial.
Yes. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah. And so we cut to flashbacks of Where Is She Now, of everything that happened at the castle at the end, right? And it became a really wonderful, wonderful, wonderful experience.
That was a huge fun scene to film, a series of scenes. Because my dad was an attorney. So I was able to channel his attorneyness on John Henry to figure out whether you had actually committed some
very British, very British. He wanted a gavel, damn it, if I'm going to do this, have a gavel.
Yes, I got a gavel. I can't do this without a gavel.
And he was happy.
Oh, brilliant. But
everything plays off of him, because as the evidence starts to unfold and he's behind the camera, you'll see him kind of occasionally kind of come up from beside the camera and just kind of get lost in what we're talking about and realizing I had no idea what I was getting myself into. It's really good stuff. It's really good stuff. I think the hardest thing for us is going to be to try to pitch this show, because everything we've talked about took half an hour.
Yeah.
If you were buyers, would you buy it?
I would. Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
One thing you guys should see is you should see a documentary that can I mention the Rise of the Dreadnought?
Yeah.
Okay. Mark has a passion, and that is battleships. And his favorite ship in the world is the USS Iowa, which is docked in San Peter Bay. So he did a documentary on the history of Iowa and the Second World War and Korea and up to Vietnam. And he had me be, I don't know why, a leap of faith, probably because the rate was right.
Yes.
He had me host it. And it's called Rise of the Dreadnoughts. And it's all on, can we send him a link?
Yeah, I have the link for it.
Okay.
I'll send it to you.
Excellent.
Okay. Yeah. I think you might enjoy it. Yeah.
Indeed, that's actually my next project, is down at the Battleship Iowa in San Pedro. We're building the new National Museum of the Surface Navy. So that's going to be the whole history of the United States Navy for 250 years. And I'm involved in media content creation for that. So that's my next project.
Yeah.
Wow. That sounds brilliant.
Yeah, and one last thing. I know we don't have time here, but I did want to say to you guys that you know, the rules of the environment of this docu-mystery are that everything that's happening is part of it. Right now, this interview with you guys is part of it. So you're going to wind up being in the show, and probably this interview is going to be in the show, and probably what we're saying at this very moment is going to be in the show.
Brilliant.
Because it's all part of it.
That's brilliant.
And this is what makes it all seamless.
Yeah.
That's what makes it seamless. So now you guys are going to start working out at the gym and wearing makeup.
Bit late for that.
What have we done here? What have we done?
No, that's exciting. That is superb.
Definitely.
But John, listen, it's been an absolute delight. Can we have another one maybe in about 4 weeks' time? If that's okay. A regular monthly chat. I know.
Can we bring this guy back?
Of course. I'm going to say, yeah.
Oh, definitely, yeah. It's been great
It's been
working with both of you here. This has been fantastic. Yeah.
All right, bless your heart.
No, we really appreciate you giving us your precious time as well. It's been an absolute joy chatting with both of you, yourself and Mark.
It's a lovely chat with you guys. You guys, I feel like we've known you forever.
Yeah.
It does feel like that, you know. It's really weird, isn't it? That I just do feel like you're a friend, and I've known you for years. It's so strange. Yeah.
It's nice for me to hear some other English accents, because
Of course, Mark. Yeah. And ex-veteran as well, like myself. I was in the army though. But anyway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
But for now, let's keep in touch anyway and chat next time.
Yeah. Thank you.
All the
Cheers,
best. All
John.
the best. Thanks for keep doing what you're doing. Appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.
Giving people
Thank you very much, guys.
Thanks, Mark. Yeah.
All right.
Cheers.
Bye-bye, Jens.
Bye now. Bye.
Bye.